And the fact that there's a dragon here isn't unique. Like I think we should note that like this isn't like, oh, there's a dragon in the Bible. Like I think we see a dragon, or at least the idea of a dragon or a monster of some sort pop up throughout the Hebrew Bible. The Leviathan specifically, I think of as being monstrous and dragon like kind of, except in the sea. But in Genesis 1, as we're doing the creation, the first creation narrative, as the Bible is kind of responding to the Marduk and Tiamat story, that's kind of what we have here too, where Marduk splits open Tiamat's body, and that's how he creates the skies and the land and stuff and the waters and all that. I think that's kind of what this is responding to, as like these are the characters that we're familiar with from those stories, and just as Tiamat was split open, Daniel also split up Tiamat, kind of, showing more power over them.
I love that so much. And I have two tangents. Do you want my Noah's Ark tangent again, or do you want my anthropology tangent on dragons real quick?
Go on whichever one you'd like.
Well, I just think it's so cool how so many different like cultures like that didn't have contact with each other each had their own like idea of dragons. Like dragons is something that is like kind of it feels universally agreed upon. Like if you look at like Aztec stuff, like they have depictions of dragons. You look at Chinese like old scrolls or like the but depictions of dragons are like
Mm.
in almost every culture if you look back in their history. And I think it's very cool.
Yeah, no, I think, my gut feeling is why that is. Don't quote me on this. I don't know. This is outside my area. But if you can think of a big flying snake, like that's pretty darn scary. That's like this one of the scariest things you could imagine. So like it makes sense that like similar concepts would be popping up in places.
Or were dragons real and wiped out during the great flood of Noah's Ark? And this is what I want you all to think about today. Because you know what? Maybe God told Noah, don't put them on the ark, don't take any eggs, and they were just wiped out in the flood. Because that's a theory I've heard.
By who? Who?
Message boards, Matthew. I'm
Of
not
course,
telling you.
of
I am
course.
not telling you. Also, it was depicted in a cartoon.
Oh,
There's a
okay. So it
cartoon
must be real.
depiction of Noah's Ark. But I've actually heard people genuinely say this is a theory, which is why people find like dragon bones or with dragon bones, but it's usually just a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
It's just a
Or
dinosaur.
yeah. Or I feel like I don't even feel like we have to go that extreme. It could be an elephant or something. It's a bone, and I feel like people will just be like, "Oh, that was Bigfoot." I'm like, no, it was Joe, and Joe died.
No,
Oh,
but Bigfoot is Kane.
yeah, that's another tangent. But no, we need to do an episode on the Noah narrative because there's so much going on there that, but aside from dragons being a part of it, apparently that is just so misunderstood. And oh my goodness, no, no, no
Okay.
dragons. I'm going to speak on behalf of the podcast here, uh, and maybe you'll disagree with this, but I think it's going to be a stance that I'm going to force you to take. Is that dragons aren't real?
Oh, oh, we are not taking that. You are only 50% of this podcast, sir. There's only a there's so now guys, there's a 50-50 chance this podcast thinks dragons are real. You know the Loch Ness monster? She's a water dragon.
Okay,
Okay, and the loch is her summer home.
this has turned into a conspiracy theory podcast. This is what we're trying to go against, Jody. We're trying to say, hey, there's conspiracy theories out there. Don't listen to them. And now you're bringing the conspiracy theories here.
Do you want me to upset you and get you back on track at the same time?
I guess.
Do you love the way Belle and the Dragon is structured, like the way they split up the verses or what?
Okay, this is going to upset me.